Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 11. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So this episode starts out and Kyle is planning a getaway for the girls. They're going to go to Ojai, California to celebrate Anne Marie's birthday, which I'm not even really sure why the girls would want to get together to celebrate Anne Marie's birthday. We haven't really seen Anne Marie at all. I don't know if she's coming to these events and she's being cut out. I have no idea. I really don't think that Anne Marie brings anything to the show. No storyline. I mean, she doesn't even have a personality that really stands out. And that's no shade. I mean, everyone's not meant to be on TV. But I was happy to see that the girls were all going to get together. Garcelle tells Sutton that she met up with Dorit and they had decided to just move forward and try to work things out. She said she would just see how things went, at the get-together in Ojai. Well, it started off really good too, because when they all met up at Kyle's house, when Dorit came in, her and Garcelle hugged. And I said, well, that is a real good start. Everybody was in a good mood and they headed off to Ojai. Erica unfortunately couldn't join them because she tested positive for COVID. On their way up to Ojai in the Sprinter van, Sutton let all the girls know that she had a really good date with Steve and that Steve asked her out on the second date. They've been texting. Things are going great. And I'm really excited about that because I like Steve and I like Steve for Sutton. So let's just hope that things work out for them. I'm wishing her and Steve the best. Now, when they get to Ojai, they do a little shopping. Dorit pulls out her Italian and Crystal makes some kind of comment to Sutton that poor woman is going to be talking to Dorit for 7 hours because we all know Dorit can't shut up. And the thing about it is people make fun of Dorit for speaking in different languages when she goes places. But you know what? The truth is, if I was bilingual, if I could speak anything other than English, I would be doing it all the time. Anywhere I went, if people were speaking Italian, I would be speaking Italian. If they speak Spanish, me too. If we're speaking French, me too. A little German, me too. I would do it. I think it's awesome. Listen, don't anybody give me a babble, because as soon as I learn another language, honey, I'm going to use it. Why not? You learned it, you got it, you might as well use it. Besides, remember they always say if you don't use it, you lose it. I don't blame Dorit. Talk all you want. Probably not to that lady though, because she's got other things to do. Kyle mentions to us that she shops every day. And I said, you know what, Kyle, I don't mind it. You have the money for it. If I was rich, I'd probably shop every day too. Not to mention when we watch the Housewives, we love to see what the ladies buy. We love to see how much they're going to spend. And, it's no problem for them. One thing that I did think was odd is she says to the lady checking her out, she says, do you think that they could take our bags over to the Sprinter van so that we can continue shopping? And I never would have thought to ask the staff to help me carry my stuff out to the Sprinter van so that I could, go shopping. I have always just done it myself. I would have taken my stuff out to the car and locked it up and went on to complete my shopping, or I would have carried my bags around with me. I don't know. I guess it's because I'm not rich. Anyway, moving on. So they get to this beautiful winery in Ojai and it looks so beautiful. The food looked beautiful, the drinks were flowing, and then they sit at this beautifully decorated table and they laugh and they joke, and it was what we watch the Housewives for. I love the laughter, the camaraderie, the joking, the being funny, just a little kiki. They were using this card game and Sutton goes and licks Kyle's toe. That is a no-go for me, but I thought it was hilarious. They showed their ecstasy faces. Crystal's, no ma'am, I don't know what the hell is going on over there with you and the director of the Lion King, but if you are making that face, it's not going right. It's not right. Anyway, Sutton stuck her tongue in Dorit's mouth. That was a bit much, but it was still comical. I would much rather see them doing stupid stuff like this than, screaming and yelling at each other. Kyle and Dorit gave them a showing of what scissoring means, which I didn't need that. I didn't need to know or see it, but I thought it was hilarious to see the two of them down on the grass in those nice outfits. That was quite funny, in my opinion. Kyle just shooting out of nowhere that, would you date a woman? I thought that was odd, and it was a little, telltale. Personally, for Kyle to be so upset about the questions that the women have about her marriage, about her friendship with Morgan, I have absolutely no idea why this woman keeps bringing things up like this. Listen, just say it, okay? Either you guys are a couple or you're not. Either you and Mauricio are going to work this out or you're not. Either you're going through some problems or you're not. Or you just don't want anybody to know. And if that's the case, stay out of the streets walking hand in hand with this woman and stop bringing her up all the time and stop bringing her on the show. I mean, this is just adding fuel to the fire, in my opinion. Kyle lets the ladies know that she's going to be having a celebration of life event for her friends who recently took her life. And I said, boy, I hope these ladies can get to this event and be respectful, because this is a serious situation. A celebration of life is a very serious event and people should act appropriately. They celebrated Anne-Marie's birthday. She's 41, and I don't mean any shade at all, but for some reason I really thought she was older than 41. We see a little scene with Garcelle and her boys. She's making dinner. Her son grabs a bowl of cereal. I said, that's how boys do. My son was always like that. Oh, I'm too hungry to wait. And he would eat the cereal, and then he would eat dinner too. So I didn't care. Like, go on, boy, do what you're going to do. She says that her son still wants his girlfriend to be able to spend the night. That is a no-go. That is a you better shut the hell up. That is a don't even ask me that again. Okay? That is a no-go. No young lady is spending the evening here. Anyway, she tells them, well, maybe we should have the sex talk. And they wasn't here for it. They weren't here for it. And you know what? That is a very hard conversation for a mom to have with her son. But I had that conversation with my son multiple times. And you know what? I think that he learned something and I learned something. And he's doing great. He's doing great. I'm proud of my boy. That is a rough situation. I remember being nervous about broaching the subject and talking to him about it. And actually, I originally went to my dad to ask my dad to have a conversation with him. And my dad said, sure, and he did. My dad had the conversation with my son, but then I thought, I'm his mom. I need to get in there and have this conversation. And we did. And it went. He sat, he listened. It was uncomfortable for him to have his mom talking to him about the sex, but we still did it. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm feeling Garcelle on being emotional about the boys growing up and going off to school. But one thing that I got a kick out of was the boys kind of tag teaming her. I am a single mom of one, so I never got tag teamed. I thought that was a very interesting dynamic, and I thought it was kind of cute. I said, oh, I could totally handle it. Right. No, I couldn't. Anyway, moving on. So then we see Dorit and PK, and this kind of felt like Garcelle's scenes with the boys and Dorit and PK's scene just kind of felt like filler scenes. It felt as if the production and the editing team thought, well, we got to put something in here before we go to this celebration of life, so we'll just throw these in. They had a therapist come over to talk to Dorit and PK regarding Dorit's PTSD. And, to sum it all up, it seems to me that PK is not buying that Dorit's PTSD is as crazy and as serious as she puts on. To me, he's feeling as if she's just being obnoxious and that she's using this PTSD to get away with some of the things that she's getting away with. He says that she's way high maintenance, a whole lot more high maintenance than she was when he first started dating her. But PK has to remember, when he first started dating her, Dorit didn't have any money. Dorit was not rich, but when she married PK, she came into some money. And so now she's high maintenance. And I would like to think that if I ended up marrying someone rich, that I would not change, that I would still not be high maintenance. But I cannot 1000% guarantee that I wouldn't. Because if you go from just being a regular girl who works at the bank, who shops at Target and shops at Walmart, goes to the local mall, buys what she can afford, lives within my means, don't overgo on my credit card. And then all of a sudden I meet this man. He's got a ton of money. He's living in the big, beautiful house. He's driving Bentleys. He's buying me a Bentley. I can't think that I would be able to hang around the people in his social group still wearing my favorite jeans from Walmart. You know, at some point I'm gonna have to, you know, switch up a little bit, change up a little bit, highlight the hair a little bit. Hopefully I would be able to still be who I really am and not go crazy, and always remember where I came from and the values that my parents taught me. I don't know. PK should know things is going to change a little bit. And maybe PK is a little upset because she's so high maintenance and their money is dwindling. You know, word on the street is, you know, they having financial problems. I don't know. Those are rich people business. Let me move on. Okay, so I said, wow. So this episode, we had to be bothered with Anne Marie and Morgan, but also Teddy Mellencamp. I said, oh, jeez. Not Teddy on my screen. Now listen, I also think that Teddy is a gnat, just like Garcelle. But, you know, I liked Teddy. I didn't like Teddy. What I'm trying to say is, even though I didn't like Teddy, I liked her more when she was on the show than I do now. You know, since her and Tamara got that podcast, I can't stand her even more. I'm just saying, oh gosh, not Teddy. So anyway.
Drinks. You're going to speak. The girl from Nami is going to
Did you see that? Right in the middle of this woman who is Kyle's personal assistant, or she works for the venue, or whoever is trying to talk to Kyle, as soon as her boo started singing, she walked away. Like, you don't hear my girl singing over here? Shut it up. I mean, I don't know. I thought that Morgan sounded great. I have mentioned it before. I love every genre of music, and country is one of my favorites. I was born in Appalachia, where all we had on the radio was the Grand Ole Opry when I was little. And so country is where I started. You know what I mean? The first music I was listening to as a kid was the Grand Ole Opry. So I listen to Morgan. I'm going to check her out. You know, Kyle lets us know that Mauricio couldn't make it because of work. And she says it's okay. You know, a couple years ago she would have needed him, but now she's fine. That says a lot. First of all, if my best friend since childhood, since 7 years old, passes away and I am having a celebration of life for her, if my husband doesn't show up, there's problems. There is some smoke in the city. What? Okay, you drop everything from me at this time. You are the owner of this business. You know you have people who are your right hand, your left hand at that company. There is something that somebody else could do for you. This meeting can be rescheduled, something. And they showed previews for next week, and he's asking her, well, how did it go? Like it was a birthday party. It was a celebration of life, and you didn't show up. It also shows me that Kyle is getting her support from Morgan now. And not only that, it shows that she is getting some of her independence back. Mauricio, something is not right here. Now, as soon as Garcelle sits down.
Her small esophagus. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Bananas.
Why do you care?
I care because
Why?
I'm in healthcare. I scoured all of my medical books. I went to work.
She asked questions.
I asked anesthesiologists. I asked ENTs. They said, you can say that to a lay person, but if you say that to someone in medicine, you look stupid. Small esophagus is not the reason. Did you have an eating disorder? Because a lot of acid reflux, let me explain. A lot of acid reflux or regurgitation can cause scar tissue in your throat.
You're implying that she has an eating disorder.
I'm not. For the record, those are Crystal's words, not mine. I never said that.
You said eating disorder.
No, I didn't. Did you have an eating disorder?
Anne-Marie, you are the one that said it. You need to own up to it. You are the biggest gaslighter. And I don't need to look up in my medical encyclopedia what a gaslighter is.
This is a tricky
All
conversation.
I said is that narrow esophagus is not a medical diagnosis, period. That's all I said.
Now listen, Crystal and Garcelle's face said it all. Anne-Marie's comment of why she is so interested is because she is a medical professional. Ma'am, you are not a medical professional that is working with Sutton. This is not your business. This woman, first of all, really doesn't know you. We don't even know you. You know, you have been on the show throughout the episodes that you have been on. We have seen you on screen possibly 20 minutes. 3 of those minutes we found out about your husband and your kids, and your husband thinks you're 8.5. The rest of that time has all been focused on Sutton and her esophagus. You have not brought anything. You haven't even brought personality to the show. Who hired her? And who in their right mind thought she is really given? Let's give her a diamond. This is episode 11. She's been in 3 episodes so far and given absolutely nothing. Anne-Marie, it's really time to go. And the fact that she tried to lie after Crystal called her out regarding her eating disorder comments, no ma'am, that is not going to go down. Crystal has spoken to the girls and us through the TV about her eating disorder. It is not okay for you to throw this out there. They keep throwing out, she's an alcoholic, she's got an eating disorder, she doesn't have a small esophagus. Even if she's got a ginormous esophagus, a normal size esophagus, a medium size esophagus, it's not your damn business. It's not your esophagus, and she is not your patient.
Shut when you think about it.
Stand down. Come up with something else. And then when Garcelle goes over to tell Sutton about Anne-Marie talking about her esophagus, Dorit in her confessionals talking about this is what Garcelle does. She strikes a match, starts the fire, and walks away. Didn't we see you do that at the Taco Tuesday? Didn't we see you start some drama with Erica and Denise and then get up and literally run out? Really, Dorit, several seats. Shut the hell on up. I'm tired. Moving on. Now, Sutton was not happy to hear about Anne-Marie bringing up her esophagus. Sutton is having an extremely difficult time at this event. As she has told us in the past, her father also took his life. And so she's still very emotional. She is struggling with his loss every day, thinking about all the years and times that she missed with her father, along with all the time that her children did not get with her dad. So she is struggling. You know, Kyle is struggling. We saw her friend's family and her friend's daughter was there. They were all struggling. Garcelle brings up the fact that she still struggles with the loss of her mother. And as all of this is going on, I realized that I am crying. And it just became a full-on emotional wreck, tear storm here for me. Kyle sharing her fruit with Morgan and Morgan sharing her fruit with Kyle. It threw Dorit.
Hey, look, I think about that every time. Here you go, I don't want that kind either. This is exactly how rumors start.
I mean, listen, I understand. Dorit said that she first met Morgan 2 years ago in London at a celebration for Mauricio's birthday. She said everybody was there and Morgan stuck out like a turd in a punch bowl. I can't remember if she actually said a turd in a punch bowl. I don't think so. I think I said a turd in a punch bowl, but I think she said Morgan stuck out like a sore thumb. Turd in a punch bowl, huh? Anyway, you think it's all the tattoos and everything? I don't know. Anyway, she says she hasn't hung out and seen Mauricio in 6 months since Morgan started spending all this time with Kyle. I said, okay, Dorit. She says this is how the rumors get started. You also help rumors get started, Dorit. And it doesn't help that Kyle has been parading this woman all over town. She has helped launch this woman's career. I mean, I don't know how famous Morgan was before Kyle started posting her all over social media and had the blogs pick her up everywhere, adding her to the show. I have to think that this has really helped her career. Anyway, I thought the episode was a good episode. I look forward to seeing next week's episode when Crystal really lets Anne-Marie have it. I hope that this is the last episode that we have to hear about Sutton's esophagus. I hope that they're able to gather Anne-Marie and snap her out of this, because this makes no sense. I feel like she is clutching at nothing. Kyle started this fire under Anne-Marie and she cannot let it go. Let it go, ma'am. You now have other medical professionals from Housewives and from just medical professionals all over. People who are nurses are all over social media. Doctors are all over social media questioning you, thinking this is not appropriate. Let it go, Anne-Marie. You're looking ridiculous. Anyway, peeps, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.